Hello, my name is Sean Leadem, and in the video you are about to watch, you will learn about our relapse prevention model and what we believe to be the benefits to becoming a certified relapse prevention navigator. Our certification process seeks to teach others how they can use our coursebook, An Ounce of Prevention, a course in relapse prevention, to guide others through the identification of his or her relapse process in order to prevent a return to his or her drug of choice. We hope you enjoy this video. Thank you. Hi, my name is Sean Leadem, and this is my father, John Leadem. Hi. And today we are here to introduce you to our model for relapse prevention and the certification we designed for those interested in guiding others through our course for developing a truly individualized addiction relapse prevention plan. But before we do so, we would like to first introduce ourselves. Dad?
Thank you, Sean, and thank you all for joining us. 58 years ago, I attempted my first relapse prevention intervention when I crushed my father's antabuse and poured it into his whiskey. It didn't work so well, and my father was sick for a month until he finished the bottle. I was not trying to make my father sick. I was just trying to make him stop drinking. His drinking was killing our family, and his relapses needed to stop, no matter what. It is not an intervention plan I would recommend today, however. We are here to recommend a model for relapse prevention that I have been working on for the past 47 years, since entering my own recovery. I have learned a great deal from my graduate degrees, but most of what I have learned has come from questioning and studying people who have relapsed. Before Sean introduces you to what those many teachers have taught us, I will let you get to know one of my awesome children and the co-author of our model in relapse prevention.
Thank you. While my story is vastly different from my dad's, I too look to cope with discomfort in my life in ways that proved quickly to be maladaptive. As an infant, I underwent an open heart surgery that saved my life, but left me feeling violated and unsafe from the medical trauma that I experienced during the well-meaning but invasive nature of the medical treatment required to keep me alive. Despite my parents' Herculean efforts to help me properly address these feelings, I grew up turning to isolation, sarcasm, and anger, among other things, to cope. These strategies often proved inadequate, to say the least. When I discovered the mood-altering dynamics associated with the pursuit of lust, I remember feeling that I could feel safe if I could get other people to want me. All of the other strategies had seemed to fail. When my father approached me to help in codifying this early work of his, it was important to me that I use my experience, strength, and hope to help others and create the course. All of us who have worked with addicts have known moments of disappointment, frustration, perhaps even self-doubt when learning of a relapse. We also know that our reactions pale in comparison to the distress experienced by the addict and his or her concerned others. So our curriculum is designed to support the efforts of addiction professionals, pastors, parents, and even grandmothers to guide a recovering person away from a return to his or her drug of choice. We have found that many who relapse have no idea how it happened and are as mystified by the fall as those who are supporting them. And far too many addicts attempt to dull the pain for them and comfort others with the self-deluded explanation that has become far too common in recovery lexicon. I have lost my sobriety. It is an explanation that sounds like he or she misplaced sobriety, or the war with his or her illness was lost. This is not an explanation for relapse, but there is one. We believe that an explanation resides in an examination of a way the recovering person has managed the emotional challenges in sobriety, and that this decision to return to his or her drug of choice comes at the end of a series of unsuccessful attempts to adequately address discomfort in life. Most relapse victims cannot explain what happened, but generally drop their defensiveness when we offer to help them get an answer. But for us, the answer has to have more depth to it than the explanation, I am an addict and that's what addicts do. When betrayal victims hear from an addicted spouse that he or she relapsed because it is the nature of the disease, or try to defend that things are not as bad as they used to be, we generally get a call. The spouses we worked with do not take comfort in harm reduction models. We get calls from spouses who want answers and not excuses or explanations that the addict is trying hard and seems to be improving. While it is true that many addicts have poor insight into the patterns of their addictive process, we do not ever believe that a relapse is an event that happens to someone. Rather, we believe that relapse is a process, and that it is a process that is identifiable and therefore preventable. In short, we believe that there is hope for any addict who has suffered from repeated relapse, and guidance can be provided for developing a plan for those interested in avoiding the first one. In 2009, John and I published An Ounce of Prevention, a course in relapse prevention, which was based on a model John developed while working with chronic alcoholics in 1973. In this model, we identify phases and accompanying personal symptoms that can be intervened on before a decision is made to surrender recovery, because sobriety is never lost. The course was designed to be utilized as a self-study, but is most effective when a recovery student is working collaboratively with a trained professional or knowledgeable educator. This slide depicts the 6 phases in a dynamic rather than linear relapse process that will develop when a recovering person is not adequately addressing the discomfort he or she is experiencing in life. Be on the lookout for our next video if you're interested in learning more about our phasic model for understanding relapse. But for now, John will highlight the benefits of becoming a relapse prevention navigator.
Thanks, Sean. The benefits to becoming a relapse prevention navigator can be clustered under 2 headings: therapeutic benefits and economic gains. As a relapse prevention navigator, you will develop educational skills to guide addicts and their loved ones through sober waypoints in order to avoid the consequences of relapse and enjoy the therapeutic benefits of sober living. Some of the prospective benefits to be derived include the ability and/or opportunity to promote the following 7 functions. First, provide personalized instruction needed for the student to understand relapse as a highly interactive rather than linear process. Second, assist in the development of a comprehensive stabilization plan, which will promote the student's efforts to undertake the emotional and behavioral self-examination needed to fully understand that both recovery and relapse are predictable processes. Third, guide and support the student through task-oriented assignments designed to identify highly individualized symptoms of relapse that the student will understand to be clear signs of potential threats to sustained abstinence. Fourth, support the student through the introspective process of understanding the self-defeating coping strategies that have emerged in response to historical and current threats to emotional security. Fifth, enhance the depth and scope of symptom-specific measurable interventions that the student can use in concert with family and other sources of support to prevent a return to the maelstrom of active addiction. 6, work with all members of the student support system to increase the level of supportive monitoring and accountability needed to ensure that recovery is a team versus solitary effort. And 7, promote trust in the recovery process by helping to guide the student and his or her support system from the fear that relapse is inevitable to the security that all threats to sustained abstinence can be neutralized when met with a united front. Working with addicts and their loved ones can be incredibly challenging work, whether you have entered the journey as a vocation or an avocation. It can be time-consuming and emotionally draining, to say the least. However, most of us have found that the emotional rewards far surpass the investment of time and energy. Many service providers or educators find it challenging to address the desire for economic gain, as if it somehow diminishes the passion they have for their work. But the economic benefits are important to consider regardless of what drives your interest in relapse prevention work. If your decision to become a navigator is driven solely by a passion for helping others, then consider the 4 economic benefits that the student and his or her family might enjoy as a result of maintaining sustained sobriety, such as 1. Reduction in general medical expenses and an overall increase in productivity as a byproduct of sustained abstinence that could provide the opportunity for healthy living. Second, elimination of the need for admission or readmission to residential treatment programs, which can easily top $42,000 for a 28-day stay. Third, the reduction in cost of traditional therapy expenses because insights gained and intervention strategies obtained in the relapse prevention coursework are incorporated in the student's plan for professional treatment. And fourth, a decreased risk of job insecurity and threat of loss of income that frequently accompanies relapse. The list of potential savings to be gained by providing a comprehensive educational service in relapse prevention is impossible to measure, but one thing is for sure. Addicts who are able to remain sober inspire others who need help to get it, thereby reducing the economic costs associated with untreated or undertreated addiction. If your work with addiction is a part of your career plan, then economic viability must be a consideration. It might be uncomfortable to ask the question, what's in it for me? But it is an important question to get an answer to. Working with a highly organized and individualized model for teaching relapse prevention is likely to afford you many of the gains that we have enjoyed in our therapy and consulting practice. The following 5 economic gains that we have experienced at LCCS can be benefits that you will enjoy. First, a significant decrease in the number of clients terminating treatment without successfully achieving their goals. Second, measurable growth in your overall market share, resulting from additional service products that will allow you to become more competitive. Third, at LCCS, we measured a 23% increase in overall profitability during the first year that we introduced relapse prevention programming into our menu of services. 4, use of the model in therapeutic intensives provided our treatment team members with up to a 30% increase in their income for the period. And 5, the development of a core treatment philosophy that will enable you to develop a marketable branding for your agency or service. As a certified relapse prevention navigator, you should also consider the following benefits. You will be able to list your services on our website if you become a member of our Lighthouse group. You will have the opportunity to receive discounted trainings from LCCS to become a part of our training team or derive additional income from serving as mentors to future navigators. You will receive referrals from LCCS to provide navigator services to students in your area or through remote communication. We hope you will consider joining us in our efforts to create a beacon of hope to addicts and their families by participating in our upcoming training event. Sean, would you please share a scenario that we expect will quickly demonstrate why it is financially prudent to invest in the upcoming training?
Sure, I'd love to. For the standard registration rate of $550, we are offering 14 CEs to LCSWs, LCDCs, LPCs, and LMFTs. Our upcoming training will be this May 18th and 19th, 2018, and is being hosted by the Right Step in Euless, Texas. Now, I know that John spoke at length about what we believe are the benefits to becoming a certified relapse prevention navigator, but as we close, I wanted to offer a realistic scenario for what your immediate return on investment could be by attending this training. Now let's say that after completing the training, you decide to run a relapse prevention educational workshop using our course book. At LCCS, we have 8 students attend each workshop on average. So if you have 8 students attend 2 workshops and you charge $65 per workshop, your gross income will be $1,040. And in just 2 weeks, your standard registration fee would have been covered with a profit margin. If you continue to run this workshop weekly for 1 month, you will have made enough to cover the cost of the training and sent your grandmother's client free of charge with $980 left over. Not only is this a phenomenal return on your investment, it helps to illustrate that this is a tangible way of investing in your economic growth. It truly is our hope that you will see the value in undertaking this training and join us this coming May. Let's work together to help make the beacon of hope to those still sick and suffering shine even brighter. You can register simply by entering this URL address in your internet browser or by going to our company Facebook page by searching for us. Once you are on our Facebook page, you will see a button at the top where you can sign up. Thank you for your time. Keep the beacon glowing. We hope to see you there.